Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. To kind of keep the early October theme going, I got my Halloween cat ears and we are going to be doing PG-13 horror movies. The ones, in my opinion, that are the best. Now keep this in mind, this is my list. It's subjective. You don't have to agree with me. Gotta kind of try and position this somewhere where I can see it because, as you can tell, I currently do not have my glasses on and I don't want to put that in front of the camera. I am going to be kind of prepping my face while we're sitting here. I want to do an It makeup tutorial since the new movie's coming out, and then my hair does not want to stay in a bun, so this is just what it's doing. But yeah, so we are going to do, what do I have here? 16. I was inspired to do this video by Sarah Hawkinson. She has a horror channel. I think it's called PossedByHorror, something like that. I'll leave the name of the channel with her video down below. I think she did 16 also. I probably could have done 20, but I didn't want it to be a ridiculously long list. So there is 16. It's more than 10. But yeah, these are movies, horror movies that are rated PG-13. And I think she was inspired to do this by the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie that came out recently. I haven't seen it yet, but it is rated PG-13. And there, you know, there's always been controversy in the horror community about horror movies being PG-13. And I have to admit, when I was younger, I was one of those people that if it wasn't rated R, it wasn't scary, or it wasn't going to be scary. So I have definitely been on that bandwagon myself. But as I've gotten older, and then just really appreciated the art behind a lot of the films, I don't think it's necessary for a horror movie to be rated R. I mean, I don't think it makes it any less credible. If I could speak English, that would be good. But so yeah, we're going to be talking about my picks for best, you know, PG-13 rated horror movies. Now again, you don't have to agree with me. There's a ton of movies. I was surprised. There was movies that I have really liked that I didn't even realize were rated PG-13 until I started doing this or making this list. So that should say something. And then hopefully it doesn't bother people too much, because when I do my movie reviews, I'm doing makeup. So I've just decided anytime I review or talk about films at all, I'm going to do some sort of a makeup, something. And I'm just kind of prepping my skin. I was going to kind of go into doing like a mock It makeup during this, but I don't think I'm going to go that far. But so yeah, if listening to, if I could speak, listening to my list of PG-13 horror movies sounds good, that's what we're going to get into right now. Please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, we're going to get into it. Okay, so number one I have is Insidious. I think most of these I wrote down years. Like I said, I can't see very well, I don't have my glasses on, but this came out in 2010, and Insidious scared the poop out of me when I saw it. The first time I watched it, I was by myself at night, sitting in the dark, and that movie scared. There are some scares in that movie with that creepy old lady, and that there's parts in that movie where I still am like, oh, and that it was scary, and it's not even gory. I think that's the thing that I started realizing. A lot of the PG-13 movies are the supernatural ones where it's psychological scares. You don't need blood and gore and guts to be scary. So yeah, Insidious is number one. And these aren't necessarily ranked in order from best to worst or whatever. These are just all of the movies that I liked. So these are not in any particular order. Happy Death Day came out in 2017. This movie isn't so much scary. There's funny parts in it, and my husband even liked it, and he does not like horror movies, but I love Happy Death Day, and I loved the sequel. The sequel wasn't quite as good as the original, but if you like comedic elements in horror movies, definitely give it a chance, because it's a movie that I went in thinking it was going to be just stupid. And I'm a fan of Groundhog's Day, and it's, you know, it's a horror version of Groundhog's Day is basically what it is, but it was surprisingly good. Ouija came out in 2014. That's one of those movies that I feel like people in the horror community either loved it or they hated it. And I don't know what it was about that movie. I used to have it on DVD, and when I bought the DVD, I swear to you, I watched it like 10 times. Every night, I just watched it over and over and over. I love that movie for some reason. I think part of it is because the actress that plays the lead was in Bates Motel, and I really liked her in that. And so when I saw that she was in this movie, and it's not a bad movie. It's a little bit cheesy, but it was good. I really liked it. Like I said, I think it was one of those movies where people were really genuinely split down the middle about it. And if people that liked it, there was a lot of smack towards people that liked it, but I liked it. It was good. A Haunting in Connecticut came out in 2009. It's based on a true story. I have watched a documentary from the actual family. It's about a family. Their son has cancer. They have to rent a home closer to where he gets treatment, and they move into this house that used to be a mortuary, and it's haunted. And again, I really like it. Now, not everything in the film is accurate. So just like every horror movie that's based on a true story, a lot of it is made up. But again, I like the actor that plays the son. He was in Jennifer's Body, and he was in the new Nightmare on Elm Street. I can't think of what his name is off the top of my head, but I think that might be why I liked it, because I like him and I enjoy watching him. And it's a good movie. Again, I used to own it on DVD. I lost all of my horror movie, like all my whole DVD collection is gone. So if I tell you, I used to have it, that's why. But I did own it at one point in time. And number 5 is no different, The Haunting of Molly Hartley. And again, this is another one. This is a guilty pleasure movie. Like, it's not by any means the best movie ever made, but it's a good movie. Like, it's a cute horror movie, if that makes sense. And it's one of those guilty pleasure movies that I watch, that I like, and I know people don't like it, but I don't know why people hate it so much, because it's not a bad movie. It's, you know, got the satanic and possession elements in it, and I like the actress that plays the lead. I enjoy watching it. Number 6 I have is The Woman in Black, and that had Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter in it, and it's just a good ghost story. It's creepy. He does a very good job. His acting is very good. It came out in 2012. The sequel is not bad. They did make a sequel to it, but it's creepy. He goes out to this house, you know, there's the ghost. He's trapped out in this house all weekend, kind of a situation. It's a period movie, takes place in the 1800s. I enjoyed it, and it's a movie that I've seen a few times. It comes on Prime and HBO quite frequently, and every time I see it on there, I watch it. So I like it. You can, if you don't agree with me, please leave me a comment. If you don't like my list, leave your list down below of movies that you like. Horror movies that you like that are rated PG-13. I'd be interested to know. Number 7, I have The Final Girls, which came out in 2015. This was a movie. It's an independent film. It has the girl from American Horror Story, the first season, the daughter of the husband and wife. She was in the Nun. She was the actress that played in The Nun. It's about a girl who, her mom is an actress, and her mom did, you know, like a Friday the 13th type movie, and her mom is killed in a car accident. She's at a screening, and her friends get sucked into the movie. So she's in the movie with her mom, but her mom isn't her mom. Her mom is the character. And so they have to survive. And it's just, I enjoyed it. It, again, was an independent movie. I want to say I stumbled upon it. I don't know if it's one I rented from Redbox or I found it on Prime, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I've seen it a couple of times. It's called The Final Girls. If you've never seen it, look it up. It's worth watching. The Exorcism of Emily Rose is at 8. It came out in 2005, and this is another one. When I got it on DVD, I probably watched it about 20 times. It's another one that's based on a true story. Now again, There's probably like this much of the actual story in it, but it's well cast. I love exorcism movies in general, and it's just, you really feel for her, and it's just well done. The special effects are really good. It's just a good movie. Number 9, I put, mainly for nostalgia purposes, I put Monster Squad, which came out in 1987, and that was a movie I watched over and over as a child. I was born in 84, so I grew up late 80s, early 90s was my childhood, and Monster Squad came out around the same time as Goonies and The Lost Boys, and it's basically Goonies meets Monsters is basically what it is, but it's rated PG-13, which I did not realize it was rated PG-13. I think I spent most of my childhood thinking it was PG. It's not. If you're thinking about introducing your children to horror movies, this would probably be a good one to start. There's a couple of scenes, like they kill vampires at the very beginning of the movie, so I mean, there's a little bit of blood, but it's not a lot, especially by today's standards. But I consider it a kids movie. I don't know if it is really a kids movie. Like I said, it's PG-13, so viewer discretion advised. But yeah, it's, like I said, if you've got younger kids, I would say 8, 9, 10, and you're wanting to get them into horror movies, it's probably a good one to start. And it's well cast, and it's still good. It celebrated its 30th anniversary not that long ago, so yeah, it's a good movie. Krampus is number 10. This came out in 2015, and again, I feel like people loved Krampus or they hated it. I love the lady that plays the mom. She's an Australian actress. I can't think of her name off the top of my head at the moment. I can see her face. She's been in a lot. I liked it. It's become a favorite holiday movie now. I watch it every, Christmas time. I've always enjoyed the kind of darker folklore, so I really liked that they did a bigger budget version of Krampus, because there are some lower budget versions out there, and it's just good. It's cast well. Special effects are decent. I liked it. Number 11, we have The Grudge, which came out in 2004, and again, this was another movie. When it came out, I was a little bit obsessed with it. I had just graduated from high school. I graduated in 2003. It was creepy. It was definitely one of those movies that creeped me out. I never saw the original. I have this thing with foreign horror movies. I've talked about this briefly in other videos. I'm pretty sure you can hate on me all you want. I have a thing where if I have to read the subtitles in horror movies, just horror movies, because I will watch foreign films. So don't think I just hate foreign films, because I don't. So I've never seen the original Grudge. I've heard that's worth watching, but I do like the American version. Sarah Michelle Gellar is in it, and I like her in that movie. I thought she did a good job. And yeah, it's good. It's creepy. I'll leave it at that. Number 12, I have What Lies Beneath, which isn't necessarily a horror movie. It's more of a thriller. I watched it recently. It has Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford in it. They're a couple. They live in a house. Things start happening. He kind of thinks she's crazy. There's twists. If you've never seen it, it's worth watching. I like it. Like I said, I watched it not that long ago because I think it was on Prime or HBO, and I hadn't seen it in a while. And it is PG-13, I discovered. This is another one that I didn't realize was PG-13. Number 13, and this is one, again, people are probably going to be like, why do you like this movie? Darkness Falls. Came out in 2003, would have been my senior year of high school, and this is another one. I think I bought a used copy, or I made my mom buy me a used copy because I rented it, and it was one that I watched over and over and over. And it's a take on the Tooth Fairy legend, and it's about a small town, and there's a lady that was killed that used to, kids would bring her their teeth, and she would give them a gold coin, and she, was killed and now haunts the town. And if you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. Again, I really like it. It's probably another guilty pleasure movie because I know a lot of people don't like it and they think it's stupid. Number 14, I have Stay Alive, and this is probably another one that falls in the same category. It's got Frankie Muniz in it, but he's not a bad actor, and he's not bad in it, and it's about a video game where I think it's like a Bloody Mary type of Elizabeth Bathory type of a character. But if you die in the game, then you die in real life, and so people start getting picked off. But I like it. It's one of those movies that, again, it's a guilty pleasure movie. When I see it on like streaming services, I watch it because I like it. It's not a bad movie, in my opinion. Not everybody's going to agree with me on that. Number 15, I have 1408, which was made in 2007. I am a little biased because I love John Cusack, and I don't think I've seen a John Cusack movie that I didn't like. I do like the short story. Obviously, the movie doesn't have everything that was in the short story, surprisingly. But it was well done. But like I said, I'm biased. I love John Cusack. He's probably one of my favorite actors. So even if it was really, really bad, I probably would still like it. And number 16, the very last movie on my list, I have as Dead Silence. And this is probably one of my all-time favorite movies. And again, I didn't realize that this movie was rated PG-13 until I did this list. Because again, this is one that I used to own on DVD. I've probably seen it 50 times. It's about haunted ventriloquist dummies and a very creepy old lady. And it's very, very good. That's all I have to say. If you've never seen Dead Silence, definitely watch it. It, again, is one of my all-time favorite movies, so I had to include it. I think I was going to stop at 15, and then I realized Dead Silence was rated PG-13, and I had to include it. Hands down, one of my favorite horror movies. You can leave me negative comments all you want, but I enjoy it. So yeah, that was my list of my top horror movies that are rated PG-13. Again, leave me some of yours down below if there's ones that I didn't mention that you really like. I would definitely be interested in knowing. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Again, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.